This story I have for you guys today is called Caps for Sale. Caps for Sale is a classic. It is an older story that's been retold, and it actually says that. It's the tale of a peddler. This is the peddler man. Some monkeys, you see them peeking, and their monkey business. So this tale has been retold and illustrated by someone, but sometimes other people tell the stories. And that's what happens with classics. They tell the same story in a little bit of a different way. But this is called Caps for Sale. Whoa, look at all those caps. Caps on his head. Lots of them. Imagine trying to balance all those caps. Wow. Caps for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was no ordinary peddler who carried all of his wares or his things on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had his own checkered cap. Then he had a bunch of gray caps, and then he had a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and then on the very top, a bunch of red caps. Imagine carrying them on his head. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. He has to be careful when he walks so they don't fall. And as he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. Nobody wanted any. He walked up and down the street and walked up and down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody even wanted a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he didn't have any money for lunch. "I guess I'll go for a walk in the country," said he. So he walked out from town, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. This is a nice place for a rest, thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree, and he leaned back little by little right against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. He doesn't want them to fall. Then he put his hand up to feel, just like this, if they were nice and straight. First, his own gray checked cap, then the gray caps, and then the brown caps, and then the blue caps, and then on the very top, the red caps. They were all there, so he went to sleep. And he had a good nap. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was feeling refreshed and rested. But do you notice what I noticed? What's missing? The caps. Oh, no. But before he was standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. But all he felt was his own checked cap. Where could they be? He looked to the right of him. No caps. He looked to the left of them. No caps. He looked to the back of him. No caps. He looked behind the tree. No caps. Where could they be? Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? Do you remember any characters on the front of the book that we saw? Let's find out. On every branch, there sat a monkey. And on every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. Look at those monkeys. Oh, my goodness. The peddler looked up at the monkeys, and the monkeys looked down at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them, "you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him, and they said, "Tss, tss, tss." The monkeys said that to him. Well, this made the peddler very angry, so he shook both hands at them. I can't do both hands or I can't hold my page, but see both of his hands. There he goes. He shook both hands at them and he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their hands back at him and they said, "Tss, tss, tss." Oh my goodness. Imagine how the peddler's feeling. A little bit angry or frustrated. Now he felt quite angry, and he stamped his foot. And he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him, and they said, "Tss, tss, tss." Can you imagine? By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry, and he stamped both of his feet, and he shouted, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both of their feet and their arms, and they shook back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss, tss." At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap and he threw it on the ground and he began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap, just like the peddler. It's kind of working. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps, and he sorted them by colors, you see, and put them back on his head. First, his own checked cap, then all the gray caps, then all the brown caps, then all the blue caps, and then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." And this says, the end. How did he get his hats back? He had to get so angry that he had to throw his. And then the monkeys copied him. That story is called Caps for Sale.